Hi Sparkles of Light, this is CherryEnchantress and this is your daily dust for Monday, February 26th if you're watching in real time, but it can also be for whenever you stumble upon it. You can treat it as a timeless reading. I am going to use Gregory Scott's tarot. He is kind of my inspiration for this daily dust reading. He does a daily reading as well and is an amazing astrologer, and created this really awesome deck. So let's use that. I colored the edges myself in this kind of blue. We're going to get a 3-card collective message. And let's see what we get for today. Definitely a daily reading, but you can, sometimes pick up on vibes that of something that's coming in the future. We have, the Wheel of Fortune. Nice. This one's a really classic, as above, so below, or, two worlds here. Let's see what else. And we have the Emperor. Nice. He came out yesterday, didn't he? And we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So this is kind of interesting because I don't usually read reversals, but I think I'm going to read this reversal because it seems appropriate. All right, let's zoom on in. So the wheel, it represents a duality here. Sometimes it does, depending on the deck. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's obvious and sometimes, it's implied. But, round and round the wheel goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. If you play like the Russian roulette and you see the little ball that bounces and drops into a certain slot, it's kind of like that. Not Russian roulette, but in roulette. There's also, like the game show Wheel of Fortune. It's similar. It's like spinning around, but nobody really knows where it's going to stop. The Wheel of Fortune lends an air of chance a little bit, but it's also so much what you put in is what you're going to get out. So this is fortune turning around. This is things happening in cycles. There are good times and bad times. There's change, and change is inevitable. There's light and then there's shadow. They're all part of our life, but they don't define any particular day or moment. And I feel like anything can be treated as a blessing. And a lot of times we'll see, it's karma, but karma is also a reward as well. We can have karmic rewards for the good that we do. So it really is one of those days. It depends on how you see it. But generally speaking, whenever the wheel comes out, I think of it as good fortune. It is the Wheel of Fortune. It's the wheel of good luck. So most of the time it's a good luck energy, and most of the time it's a win in your favor, and most of the time it's feeling happy about an outcome. Sometimes it has to do with fate and destiny and sort of fated meetings and fated moments. And so it can be kind of magical at times, I think. So we'll see what's happening here. The Emperor does actually seem quite, attractive here. He seems an adventurer from this deck. He's planning and he's building. And so the Emperor does represent your divine masculine, you or a person in your life that could be your counterpart, but it could also be like a boss or a father figure or somebody that's in a power position like that. This is also the entrepreneur. So whether you're a male or female, this represents your ability to run a business or to run your life even. So Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was Paris or New York. And so all good things sometimes have to be really carefully constructed, right? Attentive steps, building over time, and but always towards success. So there is this sense that somebody is creating an empire through a lot of successful choices. But also you have to be very careful what kind of choices you make. Are you going to make those choices that will in the end come back around to bite you? Or are you going to make good choices that keep your company or your world around you firm and strong? And also, are you going to deal with the good and bad karma that comes along your way with positivity and with grace? One of the lessons learned early in life was that karma does happen, but how you react to it is part of the lesson, is part of karma itself. If you accept it and move through it with grace, then that's winning. That's you winning this test or whatever that feels like it's happening when a karmic moment happens. But and then the other way of dealing with it is not seeing as something happening to you anyway. It's something that's for you, something that you can work with. Sometimes challenges are there to work with. So many inventors have gone through difficult moments and challenges only to find a better way, only to find the thing that they were doing wrong that leads to even more brilliant successes. So that's kind of the day that I'm talking about, something that may happen, but it still all depends on the way you define it for yourself. So to me, two of the most sort of misunderstood cards in the minor arcana are the 5 and the 7 of swords, the cheating and the stealing cards. Now, if we just wanted to be super simple, that's what we would call them. But there's so many nuances in a particular event or moment or thought or idea that it's hard to just say plain and simple that this is stealing. I mean, it could be that, you're borrowing an idea and expanding on it, something like that, or that it could be trademarks. It could be little minor things too. So in the book, this one, because this is a reversal, I feel like it could be like a real minor thing, and not. It's almost like, when back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers, but we had, when we had VHS first came out, and then movie channels came out, people were recording movies, and then there was this FBI message saying this is illegal to copy a movie, and certainly illegal to copy and sell it, but it was illegal even to copy and just have it. I'm assuming, but a lot of people did, namely my dad, and then we would watch it later, or we would just have it in our library or something like that. And it was something that was minor, that was against the rules. So it could be something simple like that. But in the book, it's saying subterfuge, and it's saying gems, like this guy's got a gem. So I think there's a big focus on that, the gem that he's holding, as opposed to the swords, because generally we're seeing swords. Also, the swords just represent, carrying many things. You're trying to get away with taking many things, and a couple falling behind and not being able to steal everything that you wanted to steal. But for fear of being caught or something, like there's so much to the story that we don't understand, and that's the point. The 7 of Swords is about the stuff that we don't understand behind the story. A lot of people read it as meaning deception, and it's not necessarily deception. It's something that is hidden, though. It's something that you don't fully know about, but it's not necessarily somebody trying to deceive you. It could be something. It could be something that has to do with surprise party. It could be something having to do with something minor, and it could also be something that seemingly seems for somebody's best best intentions, good health or whatever. So if you, for instance, and I see this is always, for instance, this is always a story behind it. The emperor, he could be a person, a father, or a person in control, and maybe he sees his child doing something that seems harmful to his child. Well, he's a power figure. He has to protect his child, so he'll do something so the child doesn't realize what he's doing in order to protect him. There's all kinds of scenarios that could be in play here. So gems are difficult to acquire, and if everyone can see how valuable they are, well, everybody knows that gems are valuable, especially diamonds. Sometimes one needs to act in the shadow, using cunning and deception to reach what is truly worth to reach. So it feels a little like, also, I don't know, I just was watching some DC comics, and it gives me like Superman, well, not Superman, but yeah, well, Superman's DC, but I was thinking of, yes, so Catwoman she's the stealer. She's the one that takes things that are valuable. But what is really her motivation? I feel like her motivation is to be caught, to be, or to, it is also, it's a kind of a challenge. Can you catch me? Can you see what I'm doing? So a lot of times, people do things as a way to challenge you, and also to see if all your systems work. Is this system working here? Can you catch any of the missing, like, let's say you got a security system. I don't know where that's coming from, but say you just got a security system that has a camera that shows all angles, and so somebody's testing it out, and you're like, is it catching this little corner where I could steal this diamond? And so it could be something like that. Even it's just some kind of design that's design flaw, like somebody's trying to test a design flaw, maybe even. Interesting how sometimes the Seven of Swords always like turns me into a loop and makes me think of so many different possibilities. It could be somebody that is trying to steal from the Emperor, possibly, but the Seven of Swords was in reverse. So I feel like if it is anything, it's minor, and it could also be unknown, like a little bit like, well, I wasn't intentionally trying to deceive you, or it wasn't meant for you to not know. In this moment, I felt like it was better not to say anything. Could be something like that, something simple like that. We decide those kinds of things all the time for ourselves and for others, but especially if it's for yourself, if you're creating something and you're not really ready to show anyone yet, then that's not deception. That's just protecting your work, protecting your idea until it's ready to be seen. So, yeah, and the idea could be your diamond. So anyway, I hope you like that. Faith, trust, and pixie dust.